Well, hello guys, welcome back. Oh my, here's a mess. I'm sorry I've been rifting again. Rift here. Anyhow, want to talk about the gods and balance. I've been very blessed to know a lot of gods, and you know the Norse gods. It seemed to be making a campaign for only Norse gods, and it didn't feel right to me. And luckily the Greek gods stopped by today. I made a previous video and deleted it, but luckily the Greek gods stopped by today. Um, Sometimes we need balance, not just amongst the pantheon. That can be a whole other thing about, how it's useful to balance Loki out with someone because he can be a bit muchness. I have a little bit over on Patreon for you about that. But also balancing out the gods that care for us, because I realized last night as I was running around doing that epic art thing that while I had the best of intentions, one, I was going overboard. They didn't need 4 temples. They just needed 1. And 2, I was trying to force relationships in a sense of, I'm going to make you this artwork and hopefully you'll notice me. And sometimes that's good, and sometimes it's just you're running around like crazy. When I'm relaxed, there's only so many Norse gods I normally interact with. They're the ones that like me, and I like them. We're attracted to each other, we work well together. The rest of the gods have never been unkind, but there's just not that chemistry there to work together. And I don't mean in a romantic sense, I just mean there's no sense they want to work together, and there's no sense I really want to work with them. And Dionysus was nice enough to point out, he says, you don't have to make all 4 things for the gods. Odin had cut it down to 2 things, 2 Oculus homes. And Dionysus gave me the little push to make sure it was just 1 home, the main home for the gods, and that's not entirely the gods. Most of the stuff's secular stuff. There's really only a couple things for the gods in there. And the second one was supposed to be our club. Because Loki wanted to open the Loki finishing school for wayward girls. Remember those poor women that were off all alone in the streets? And Dionysus shook his head and said, make it into a club environment. Make it, classy and upscale. Make it into a club environment. Because this is a private thing. Nobody can get in there. Nobody can see anything. It's set up, and it's done tastefully. So we got that set up. And we have to remember sometime to have balance with our gods. And the insight that I got, I'm sorry, there's glitter on my microphone. It's distracting the hell out of me. I told you, this is a channel run by a cat. If it's bright and shiny, I'm off. We have to learn balance between the gods that love us from all the pantheons. And honestly, I think I brought all this on myself, because even though I said otherwise, I really believe that if the gods loved me, they would fight over me, and they would make it a trial. So in my daily life, I was saying, why are you fighting? Why are you fighting? Please don't fight. But deep down inside, I was like, oh my god, if they don't act like the god I was brought up with and act jealous and territorial, I won't know that they love me. Now, I'm not saying they still won't go at each other every so often. But once Dionysus was kind enough to point that out, everybody's just calmed down, everybody's back in, nobody's going at anyone else. I think they needed me to know that I was loved, and that they'll fight for me, and that they'll keep fighting for me. I'm sure it's just like on their end, but for us humans, it looks quite impressive. I think I heard laughter back here. I think that was Dionysus. And so he and I had a feast together, and all the gods were invited. If I say I'm working with so-and-so, any god's invited to come in. It's not that the other gods can't, or, won't. And I kind of regret, because I had gotten the strongest urge to take Dionysus out. His huge statue, well, not huge, the one back here. I got the strongest urge to take it out during the snowstorm yesterday, and I just didn't for whatever reason, and I should have. Well, it's good that I didn't, because Loki was being playful. It would probably be a broke statue, but still. At least I got the reminder that we need balance. Balance not only within the pantheon, if we're determined to stay in one pantheon, but balance between all the gods that love us, because I've never had the gods say you have to stay here unless it was one of those things where I was reverting to Christianity and thinking, well, if the gods really love me, they will fight each other to the death for me, because you can only have one god. Well, I mean, one group of gods, but, it's kind of like paganism with a Christian flavor. I mean, if you are very happy in one pantheon and one pantheon alone, and you have no other friends among the gods, that's great. But if you have friends among the gods, I'm being reminded of there are no orphan gods. There's this thing about if you come into Voodoo, for example, should you leave all your other gods behind? Because a lot of people get pressured to do just that. And they say, no, there should be no orphan gods. If gods cared about you and loved you, and the relationship didn't actually come to an end, they should always be invited into your life. Some of the earlier gods I worked with will come by occasionally. Sometimes. It's not like it was in the beginning, but it seems like every god gets that time when you're extremely passionate about them. Dionysus had his recently. Loki had his a couple years ago. He has his off and on periodically. Oh my god, you wouldn't have wanted to deal with me more than a couple years ago. It was bad. Loki, everything. It was revolting. He was my precious waifu. That was him. That was definitely him laughing. Yeah, it was kind of borderline obsessive creepy. Even Odin was trying to push me in the right direction last night when he saw that I was making art of the gods. He goes, that looks a little stalkerish and that's borderline creepy, but you do you, honey. I'm like, but oh, Father, don't you want a poster of yourself up on the wall of my virtual home? No, you already have one piece of art. Why do you need more? Scaring me. Stop this. I know you're Catholic, but stop. I grew up Roman Catholic, and one statue won't do. We need 20 of the same exact, for lack of a better word, deity, saint, angel, whatever. We need 20 of those damn things. We will make a altar to the Virgin Mary with 30 Virgin Mary statues and a Virgin Mary candle on the Virgin Mary poster, and we're dressed up in her colors, and we love her. We love her so much. I think it's why she's always sad when she appears. And she's always predicting the end of the world. She's probably up there like, ay, Dios míos. If I could just predict something bad enough to leave me alone. So yeah, it's been something to learn to balance them out and to learn to do everything with them. I saw some stuff in the news tonight and I'm like, wow, I'm not getting any younger. So it made me think, and I don't mean to be grim, but I've worked with Lasanta, and Lasanta will tell you could go at any time. I could make this, upload it, and then go like that, and you would never know. I guess you would if the video stopped, but you know what I mean. And it's been good to have the house resettled, and Dionysus was the one walking me through it today. He said, we don't care if you have an altar. It's great if you can. We really don't care. We understand you humans don't have unlimited money. You don't have unlimited space. It used to be an entire city that would set up a temple. Not just one person. And we tried to do it all on our own. He's like, we don't care. As long as you love us and honor us, we're fine. And I think Loki has a lot of explaining to do, because I think Loki was going behind the scenes previously and playing other gods, as he often does. Now, as I said, that's a story today. Loki being Loki, he may come over, try to put his paw on things, but he's being awfully quiet. He's pretty good. I think he tuckered himself out because he had my energy going like a scattergun yesterday. I did a ton of work yesterday and today, but nothing was getting done. So I got my Odin ring, and remember, we don't just pick up the gods when we need a favor. I said, I know, Loki got a couple days. I don't deserve to ask you for a favor. I don't deserve to ask you to get me back on track, but I'm just going all over the place. He was nice enough to help. He didn't have to, I did put the ring on with intent, but that still doesn't mean he was obliged to help me. He was nice enough to help me, and Dionysus and company have come back in. And they said, I got the strongest sense of they'll fight if that's what makes you feel secure. If you grow up with a god that's crazy and will fight every other god, and that can only be your only god, they have better stuff to do, but if they have to put on appearances and fight over you, they will. So that's what happened today. And it was really good getting that cleared up. I'm watching his altar. He has candles, so sometimes Loki gets up to his mischiefs if he thinks he didn't get enough attention lately. But yeah, we're doing pretty good, guys. So I don't know if this will like normalize stuff. Hopefully this will normalize our schedule, because I know we've been doing like 5 videos, then 1, then nothing, then like 5. Hopefully everything will balance out. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye bye.